Good afternoon. My name is Reginald Andre with ARC Solvers, and we have Yoli Santoyo, and we are so happy for you to join us on our AI for profit and growth. So our presentation is going to be talking about all about AI. And before we get started, we just wanted to first say a big thank you for everyone for joining. We see we have a lot of people. Just so you know, some housekeeping rules. This is going to take about 25, 30-minute presentation, but don't worry, it's not going to be death by PowerPoint because we know that time and money matters for you. And our goal is to help you as the business owner and as the business executive same time and grow your revenue responsibly with AI. And you may be thinking, well, why is ARC Solvers cybersecurity? What does cybersecurity have to do with AI? Well, as you know, things have changed and cyber threats are way up. But how many of you may have people in your business, have employees in your business using AI and you don't know about it? And if you think about it, that in itself is a cyber risk because you can't just have people using these AI tools and not having any type of guardrails and so forth like that. So Yoli, if you'd like to introduce yourself, and then from there, we're going to get started. There is a comment section. We are doing this live. So please put your comments in, say hello. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those at the end as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So really excited. Thank you everybody for joining us. Like Andre said, we're really excited to talk about AI. Everybody's using it, even if you don't know about it yet. So our main goal during this webinar is hopefully you guys walk away with some new information and some ideas on how you can help AI grow your business.
All right, so we're going to get started. So again, my name is Reginald Andre, CEO of ARC Solvers. And ARC Solvers has been in business now for its 15 years, and we're one of the leading companies doing cybersecurity. And recently now, we've also ventured into the AI side. So when we talk about AI, AI is not the future, it is the now. If you look at this adoption curve, you're going to actually see that based on this bell chart, we are still in the early adopter stage. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, all of these things with ChatGPT and all of these things that's happening with AI, and I'm so behind, well, good news, you're not behind. You are still considered an early adopter because if you think about tools like ChatGPT, it only came out to the regular public about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we are definitely in that edge, and you definitely want to take advantage of that. What we're now seeing, though, is that the majority of our clients and the majority of the small business owners, they're stuck experimenting. They're trying different things. They're trying ChatGPT. They're trying Gamma. They're trying, you know, Claude and Gemini and all of these different things. But then they kind of get frustrated and they're like, you know what? I don't have the time for this. This AI, I'll just use ChatGPT to write some emails and that's it because I don't have the time and I'm not figuring it out. But with AI, there's so many different things you can do. There's so much automation tasks that you can do. There's so much, you know, the phrase of, you know, work smarter, not harder. What are those tasks that your staff are doing every day that you're wishing like, oh my gosh, I have this spreadsheet and then I have this spreadsheet and I would just, and then I have this program and I would just love for AI and automation to just be able to just do something that's typically taking my staff, you know, 30 minutes, an hour a day, where I can now just have this automated. So
Yeah.
the longer you wait, the harder it is to catch up. You're going to say something, Yoli?
Yeah, well, I'm curious to know, just so that, we don't bore everybody to death. Drop a one in the chat for me if you're still testing things out. I mean, this has been around for a while, but where are you at? Are you still like testing things out, but you quite haven't figured out what the system is yet or where you want to start?
All right, we got a one there.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, we have someone else that says they're using Chat GPT, but they know they're only using it a small percentage. All
Okay.
right. Hello, Marion. Thank you for joining as well. So if you're not leading with AI, unfortunately, you're falling behind. Again, think about those times that you're doing these tasks. If you're using, something in SharePoint, if you're using something in Outlook, we, for example, just finished helping a client where now when someone emails them, it helps draft a response. There's so many things that your team is most likely overwhelmingly doing that now
Hmm.
your competitors are most likely using AI to be able to do those tasks. And AI
Yep.
isn't just a tech advantage anymore, it's a survival for small businesses because even us as ARC solvers with a team of 8 people, the way we're using AI, we're now a team of like 10, 11 people because we're able to do so much more with AI.
Hmm. Yeah, and what I'd like to add to that is, if you aren't using AI right now, the reality is that, you probably have overwhelmed staff. Maybe you're missing some revenue, right? Because these are time savers that can help, buy back some more time. And you can use that time to, maybe go talk to new clients, find, new revenue streams. So you're probably already paying the price if you're not already using AI.
And also another thing that we're seeing working with small business owners is that even if you think as a company you're not using AI, your employees are using it. And that goes now with the security because you don't want just any employee, you don't want your employees to just be using any AI tool. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So think about the bottlenecks that is holding your company back. You may be wasting hours on repetitive tasks that should be automated. Your customers may be getting mixed messages or inconsistent services. There's AI tools now that when you call, it's a robot that can answer and help, transfer the calls and so forth like that. You don't have to have a receptionist necessarily doing that, and that receptionist can now be using their skill set on something more profitable for the company. You may be even sitting on valuable data without turning it into action. Things like Microsoft Copilot, for example, is a great way where you can use this tool to now be able to search all of your SharePoint library, all of your emails, and so forth like that. And of course, sales. You maybe also have sales slipping through the cracks because of your clunky process. But if any of these sound familiar to you, then this is why you would need AI, because with AI, it's going to help you take these bottlenecks out.
Hmm.
So, hidden risks. Who's using AI in your business? Interesting story. We have a client, and we scanned a tool. They paid us to do a cybersecurity risk assessment, and they paid us to basically see who's using AI in their business. Right? They wanted to know which employees were using AI. Well, the thing is, they had a policy in place that says no AI. They're in financial services. So when we provided the owner the results of AI, they were so surprised to see all of the different AI tools being used. So even with an AI, even though they had a policy, employees were still using it, right? Because it's kind of like, telling someone like, hey, don't do this. It's like, all right, why wouldn't I want to do this, right? Why wouldn't you want me to work hard and so forth like that? And especially if you have no AI usage policy, there's can be very, very unintentional data leakage. And I compare
Hmm.
this to, for example, Dropbox. If you are using Microsoft Office, right, or if you're using, let's just say, Google for your business, and all of a sudden you find out that your employees is storing data company data in Dropbox, they could possibly even get fired for that.
Mhm.
So it's the same concept. If you don't have an AI usage policy, you can unintentionally have a data leakage. And also, employees are using free tools. And there's a saying that says, if the product is free, you if the what is it, Yoli? If the product is free, you are the customer. Is that it?
Yep, you're the customer. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So in other words, what basically is saying is, if you're using something for free, if you're using Facebook, for example, well, that means that you are the customer in the sense that Facebook is making money off of you. So if your employees are using AI tools and it's free, more than likely those AI tools is taking that information and making their language model better, or just using that and selling it.
Yep.
So there's,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. The reality is that, we know that it's not about if they're using AI, because we know that they're using it. It's about how and who's using it, right? Because what they call shadow AI, meaning they're using it but you don't know, that's very risky. So having the policies and the training in place matter just as much as using the tools.
Yeah. So if you're not governing AI, you're really exposing your business. And again, this is kind of where the cybersecurity side comes in and how Arc Solvers comes into play. So let's meet your new competitive advantage. One of the things that happens a lot of times when clients reach out to us and they say, okay, we're looking to see where we are when it comes to cybersecurity. When you look at AI for your business, you have to look at it in the same way. And how that works is by doing a AI readiness assessment. Because what you don't want is for all of your employees to say, I'm going to use this tool, I'm going to use this tool, I'm going to use this tool. And then it's just a cluster. And then more importantly, you're going to have all of these different licenses. You're going to have just it's going to be a mess. So it's really important when you're now going to start using AI in your business, you do what is called a readiness assessment. And what this basically does is going back to like looking at that low hanging fruit. What is it that we can possibly use AI for that is going to help us cost savings, that's going to help us with automation? And then
Right.
from there, you use AI for strategic growth. How is it going to help grow your business? Because you don't want this AI tool to just be charging your account, $50 a user, a license or something like that. You want to be able to make money using these tools. And then from there, you want to be able to see where AI can increase efficiency and revenue. One of the things that we've actually done a webinar on is using AI as a board of advisors and helping the business owner actually figure out some ways that they can improve their business, because AI was able to look securely into their QuickBooks, their profit and loss, and some other stuff, and it really helped them see how they can now profit and change some things in your business. And another thing that AI can now do for businesses, it can do the implementation. So it's more now talking about integration. So imagine ChatGPT. Not only is it in really ChatGPT 5, for example, is going to come out this August with a feature like that, where not only is it going to give you an answer, and I'll just give you a basic example. Where right now, if you wanted to just go on a trip to Italy with a $10,000 budget with your family, ChatGPT can go ahead and give you a whole itinerary, right? Say, oh, you should check this place out, do this Friday at 3 o'clock, and so forth like that. But soon with the new ChatGPT, it's going to be able to book the flights, book the hotel, book the safari, or whatever the case is. Well, it's the same thing for your business. Not only just having these AI tools give you information, but you want to now have these AI tools be able to do these tasks for you. And another advantage that you want to do is you want to have another thing that you want to do is you want to have ongoing advisory and optimization, which is something that we're going to talk about of how ARC solvers can help you stay ahead because you are trying to build your business, you're trying to grow your business, and the last thing that you want to do is now try to figure out which AI tool to use. Same thing
Right.
with cybersecurity. You're not just going to be looking at, oh, which tool should I use and how do you protect it? You hire trusted advisors. So we have a four-step approach to driving profitable AI transformation. But before that, I want to give some shout outs. I see Jeanette Gonzalez saying hello. Thank you so much. Betty says the AI automated response is cool, but still needs improvement. And Yoli, let's talk about that, for example. How many times have you put in something into, we keep on picking on ChatGPT, but how much times have you typed into something to your AI and what type of answer does it give you?
Exactly. You have to really make sure that those prompts are correct, because otherwise it's going to just spit whatever out. One of the nice things is obviously the more you talk to it, the more it learns who you are. But it's not, and this is kind of going to, well, it's going to make people just not think about anything. But AI is really ultimately still going to be your thought partner because you need to think about how you want to formulate that prompt so it can help you with that automation that you're looking for.
Exactly. And AI actually has, this is something that AI will never tell you it does not know. It's going to do what is called hallucinate, or what I like to say is it's going to tickle your ear. It's going to tell you what you want it to, what you think it should be, or it's basically going to say, give you the answer. Is it right? Is it wrong? No one knows. And that's what's so important, that your employees need to know that as well. Because there's actually been studies now that's showing that employees are relying so much on AI when they're turning in the work in, and maybe someone more seasoned or someone that's actually reading what they're turning in is like, whoa, this doesn't make any sense. There was even a few examples. Even the My Pillow guy. There's been a lawsuit that he was a part of, and his attorney, the My Pillow guy, the pillow, his attorney used AI, and AI provided fake case law, and it has hallucinated. So this is why it's so important that when you implement AI in your business, you're not just, again, having your staff just say, hey, boss, I found this. I'm going to use it. I'm putting on the company credit card. But you want to make sure that you are strategically doing this.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to circle back about it hallucinating. I had read just the other day that there's going to be, if it's not already in place, a study mode coming through to ChatGPT to help fight those types of things so that people still continue to kind of use their logic in using. So it'll have like interactive Q&As. It'll give you like flashcards so that you can actually memorize stuff instead of just relying on the answer from ChatGPT.
Exactly. Yep. And again, that's why it's just so important that you have that AI advisor. So as you start implementing AI in your business, just like you may have a fractional CFO, you may have a marketing officer, you're not just going to start putting stuff on LinkedIn and there's no strategy. And it's the same thing with AI. You can't just rely on the tool. So you have to assess, you have to pinpoint, again, where you're wasting time and money, seeing where AI can help. Then from there, what we can do for you is we can help strategize, get step-by-step AI roadmaps tailored to your business. Because what I've again seen is that a lot of times people will start experimenting with the AI. They'll pay a little subscription, and then their emails are ringing out the hook. And then they say, well, why am I paying the subscription? I don't have the time. So it's very important that you're strategic about this. And then from there, you implement it by putting practical AI tools. And then from there, you have to then optimize it, tweak it, and make sure. Then you roll it out to your entire company. But you don't just start kind of like where it's, aim, fire, ready. You need to make sure that you have a process approach. So your AI profit and growth playbook. what we can do for you at Arc Solvers is we can provide a AI profit and growth playbook. And in that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be providing you, helping you figure out where AI can make the biggest financial impact. You know, one of the things about cybersecurity, I'm going to kind of pull the curtain back in cybersecurity, is a lot of times when we're providing the service for a client, if for whatever reason, if the client doesn't call us, they can easily maybe go by a few days, a few weeks, and so forth, and be like, "Why are we paying that cyber company? We never we never hear from them, or things been working and so forth like that." And they start to question as far as like, what's the ROI? Well, your ROI is you didn't get hacked, but that's a different story. But that's one of the battles that we have to now be able to prove that we are doing our work and we are worth what we're charging. Now, the beauty with AI is the complete opposite, because we can immediately show you, hey, you have this scenario, you're spending X amount of time to do this process, to do whatever this is. Here's AI, pay this, and within 2 weeks you're going to make your money back. Within 2 weeks you're going to be profitable. And that's one of the cool things with AI, is that it's a little more tangible, and you can now be able to see the profit and the ROI in that. The next step that we do in your AI profit and growth playbook is that we tailor it to your teams, because your accounting department obviously is going to be different from your marketing department, which is different from the development department, and so forth like that. So that's again why it's so important that when you do an AI profit and growth playbook with us, what we'll be doing for you is now going to each department and looking to see, okay, tell us what this person does. Tell us what they don't like doing. What do you think, we can now help you improve on? And once we see those workflows and those processes, then from there we can come in and provide some feedback of how we can automate those workflows and make things efficient. So from there, even for marketing, even for sales, I was actually on a podcast earlier today, and we were actually talking about how there's a lot of tools now that can help automate posts, and not only automate posts, but give feedback on the posts, that can reply. So if you're in the type of business that's a little more heavy, where people are coming to your website, they're leaving reviews, they may be leaving comments, they may be asking questions. Well, think about the time right now that you may be paying a very high value staff member to now manage that. But what if now we can use AI to kind of learn those responses, learn the playbook that person does, and have AI, because we're using AI not to replace the person per se, we're using AI to make that person efficient, right? We also obviously always want our staff to have quality of life. And if they're working 50, 60 hours, and AI can now take 10, 15 hours from that, why wouldn't you want to now have some type of AI solution? And part of our growth playbook is that not only are we going to recommend, but we're going to guide you. Because again, we know that you're dealing with your day-to-day business, and the last thing you want is for someone to just give you the homework to say, okay, this is what you need to do. You need someone to now be doing that. Go ahead, Yoli.
Right. Yeah, we don't, with this, we don't stop at just the advice, right? We want to build and integrate AI solutions that are actually going to drive results for you. So here's a question for everybody. If you had just 10 hours back a week, what would you do with your time? Just give me a few shout outs. Go to the beach, have a margarita.
Johnny says sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, very important. Yeah, I would probably be enjoying life. Yep. I would probably be, doing some stuff with my son. So this is the beauty of AI, that it's giving you some of that time back in your day. Yep. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for that. So, and if you guys have any questions, we got about 5-6 more minutes in this presentation. But if you guys have any questions, any use cases of how you're using AI, we would love to just talk about that as well at the end. So we talked about the AI playbook and what ARC solvers can do for you. So what can you expect? What is that ROI that you can expect? Well, the first thing is, as we mentioned, is that you are going to see that ROI. You're going to see a 20 to 40% increase in operational efficiency. I've been using AI probably for the last year and a half, and I still have my admin Raul, and he's doing a great job. But there's a lot
Mhm.
of other stuff. There's a lot of stuff that he used to do for me that now I have the AI doing, and I've now been able to give him way better, more tangible tasks that can make the company more money. Instead of, for example, we did something with what is called warranty when we need to, like, for our cybersecurity clients, we need to see when the warranties of computers expire. Well, I was able to have AI be able to now provide that for me. And now I don't have to have him sit there going into Dell and copying and pasting and doing things like that. AI was able to do that. And whenever I want that report, I just hit the run button and I get it rather than waiting, a couple of days for him to get to it when it was slow. Also, we've seen our clients have a 15 to 30% increase in lead conversion. Think if you're using HubSpot, if you're using Salesforce, there's so much integrations that you can make with your other software to now make your clients more sticky, or potential clients. You can get back to them sooner. Imagine someone goes on your site, messages you at 3 in the morning, and just asks a question that all of your other clients ask. How cool would it be to have a chat bot that will now be able to answer and have a conversation as if it was a real person? And also, more importantly, put the guardrails in to train the AI that says, hey, if you don't know the answer, you don't know the answer, but don't just tell that person anything.
Mhm.
And then 10 to 20% reduction in overhead. Again, we're not on this webinar to talk about how we're going to get rid of employees, but at the same time, as business owners, we have to make sure that we cut any wasteful spending. And if automation can do it, then so be it. But we want to make sure that our bottom line is as green as possible, and we want to be able to reduce any of those mundane tasks that can be doing that. And then 5 to 10 hours saved easily per week per employee. Because once we talk with those employees, this is what we would do with this AI profit and growth plan. Is we are going to ask this employee, tell us everything you do every day. And then as they're telling us and they're showing us, and we're like, oh my gosh, you have to click how many times to do this? All right, I got it. I got a solution for you. We can do something for you and save the hours. And that's what it's all
Mhm.
about. So, ARC solvers, big announcements. We are now your fractional AI officer. In addition to doing the cybersecurity, we now have our new branch where we're providing fractional AI officer services. We're going to be helping turn your AI into revenue drivers and not just a distraction, not just for you to be buying all these shiny tools and then doing nothing with it. We're going to help translate your business goals into smart automation strategies. We're going to build and manage your AI systems so you don't have to. And everything we do ties to ROI, not just the shiny tools.
Mhm. Yep. The reality is that, most business owners don't need to become AI experts, right? Just like, business owners don't need to be cybersecurity experts. That's why you hire somebody like Art Solvers. What you need is a trusted AI translator. And that's what we offer, that leadership level AI strategy where you don't have so much that learning curve. We're going to come in and be your consultants and help you decide where you need to go with that.
Exactly. So you're not buying a report, you're gaining a partner who's here to make sure that the AI actually pays off. So let's help build your custom plan for new reports. If you're ready for us to provide this AI profit report and be your guide, give us a call. You registered for this, you're going to be getting a follow-up email if you logged in through the StreamYard, and then we have some notes of who who contacted us. But give us a call. We're going to put our phone number in the chat if you just happen to be watching this webinar. But we are ARC Solvers, we are AI, and we want to help You build custom plans to create new profits, streamline your operations, and future-proof your business. You have anything else, Yoli, before we wrap
Y-
up?
Yeah, well, I see that Betty said, "Are you ready?" So my follow-up question to that is, or comment is, go ahead and let's drop a let's go in the chat if you're ready to see what your AI profit potential could be, because we are ready.
Yes, we are ready for you. So I got some ones. All right. Ready, ready, ready. I'm seeing that. Awesome.
Ready for a 20-hour work week, like Francis said? Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, Francis, I can't wait for the day when our work weeks go from 40 to 20 and be paid the same. Honestly, I know some people. I know some people. They're employees of companies. And again, when we're doing the scans, and I'm like, wow, you're doing all this with this tool, and the employee does not know. And that's a different conversation for a different day. But that's also an interesting thing because, you know, is it wrong for you to implement these tools? And if your employee can do the same job, the same time, but faster, do they still deserve the full 40 hours? I don't know. That's a different day, but nevertheless, this is the future, guys. We can't avoid it. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about AI with your employees, and if you're not having a policy, I can guarantee you they're going behind your back unintentionally, and they're doing these tools because employees talk outside the office and like, yo, I'm using this tool, and what used to take me 5 hours is taking me 1 hour. And the problem with that is that tool that they're probably using, they're uploading financial information, they're uploading personal identifiable information, social security numbers, account numbers, ACH numbers, and it's not going through your security standards, and that becomes a risk for your business.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So thank you everyone for taking the time for this. Like I said, this was going to be 30 minutes. We're at 31 minutes. So this wraps up and we will see you. And if you know anybody that can benefit from this, please, on our social media page, this channel is live and you can now share it. You can go to Arc Solver's YouTube channel. You can give us a call, 786-664-8275. Give us a call. We'd love to help you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.